Straight ahead on CCX News, 2 votes in Plymouth that produced passion and emotion. One concerning tobacco.
I'm asking you not to kick this vote down the road.
Another concerning affordable housing.
It begs the question, if not here, where?
And a question about household waste, how to reduce the amount of garbage in landfills. We'll look at a new plan offered by Hennepin County. CCX News starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We begin with an issue that local cities have been grappling with, and that's whether to raise the minimum age to buy tobacco products to 21.
Tuesday night, the city of Plymouth said yes. They voted to raise the age to buy tobacco starting next summer. But as Shannon Slatton reports, it was a close vote.
I'm here today to help fight back against cancer in the tobacco industry, but I need your help.
The Plymouth City Council heard an earful during Tuesday night's public hearing of an ordinance changing the minimum age to buy tobacco from 18 to 21.
We cannot pass up the opportunity tonight to stand up to big tobacco.
Any step to prevent young people from becoming addicted to tobacco products is a step in the right direction.
We can set an example for communities across the state.
There were fewer opposing voices, but they were strong ones. Businesses who rely on the sale of tobacco products said customers would just drive to neighboring cities to buy their tobacco.
First of all, we're going to lose a lot of customer because we have a lot of customer. I've been there since they opened the store. We have a lot of customer between the age 18 and 21.
We stand to lose a lot of inside sales, gas sales, ancillary sales, and I don't have the corporate backing that Holiday and Super America do. It's just me.
City council members seem to agree that they hope the state legislature tackles this issue. A bill that would do this was introduced last May, but they did proceed to a vote, with 3 council members voting against the ordinance.
The folks over in New Hope and Maple Grove and the other stores over there will grin a slight grin tonight.
It's a noble goal. It puts out a statement, but it really isn't going to achieve the objective of stopping 15, 16, 17-year-olds getting it from 18-year-olds because they can go to another city.
The 4 council members voting for raising the minimum age said they were comfortable with Plymouth taking the lead in the Northwest Metro on what they call an issue of public health.
Sometimes we just have to do the right thing. So I'd rather be a leader on this issue than a follower. So I'm going to support it.
In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
The council did push the start date to July 1st instead of January. Edina, St. Louis Park, and Bloomington have also voted to raise the minimum age to buy tobacco to 21. Now to a project in Plymouth that has sparked passion and giving way to both hope and concern.
An affordable housing project is planned for an area about a mile south of Wayzata High School. A proposal to put together by a collaboration of churches calls for a 3-story apartment building called Cranberry Ridge. It would consist of 47 units on a narrow stretch of land north of Highway 55 and south of Old Rockford Road. It's a project local faith communities pushed hard for, but one neighbors are concerned about. On a night that initially started talking about smoking, local faith groups didn't want to hear any more talk about butts.
At Planning Commission, every single one of them said, I'm a huge supporter of affordable housing, but. And I will ask that you just stop there tonight.
The Plymouth City Council heard plans about rezoning property to address a need for affordable housing made available to working families earning between $20,000 and $45,000 a year. 10 homes would also be set aside for families who earn less.
Cranberry Ridge is not going to meet the need of affordable housing in this community, but it will at least show the rest of the Twin Cities that Plymouth is a hospitable community that is willing to do its part in meeting this metro area need.
But the project was met with concern. Neighboring property owners wondered about water drainage, traffic through their property, even security issues. Some, including the Plymouth mayor, felt the project wasn't the right fit on a site next to busy Highway 55.
I just don't think residential development belongs along a highway.
Those in favor say it's a wonderful location due to its proximity to jobs, shopping, transportation, and schools. Church leaders ask the question, if not here, where?
When we look at other land in the city, there's not another site that is uniquely poised to right now house 47 families in need, this close to jobs and amenities.
It all led up to a final vote focused on land use, not the delicate topic of affordable housing.
I heard NIMBY over here, and I heard this over there. Okay, call me names. But we're actually supposed to look at the site, and I think this site should stay, and we should develop other office buildings. I don't like the idea of kids playing right next to a highway.
But the buts would not win tonight.
These folks here will not take no. They are as tenacious a group as I have ever seen.
And in the end, for affordable housing advocates, a celebration.
And that does pass. Again, thank you for everyone being here.
The vote in favor was 5-2, with Councilmember Prom and Mayor Slavic voting no. Concessions from the developer, Beacon Housing Group, ultimately led to approval of the project, including providing a public street that would allow access to neighboring properties.
In Brooklyn Park, the city has approved a zoning change for an area along Highway 610 that's been planned for development for years. That tops our look inside City Hall. It's called 610 Junction and is located just southwest of the 610 interchange with Highway 169. In 2009, a plan called for office, retail, and multifamily housing. But economics have changed and the developer is shifting to more business park uses, including light manufacturing. He says there is strong demand for that in the area. The council also approved a mixed housing policy that would require developers to include a certain amount of affordable units in most new apartment construction. Several housing advocacy groups, including the African Career Education and Resource Group, known as ACER, has been working with the city on it. Program manager Denise Butler says there was concern that when LRT comes to Brooklyn Park, rising property valuations would price lower income residents out of the rental market.
With development comes, property values go up, things get expensive. And so this policy, again, is a win for community because it ensures more options for affordable housing at different income levels.
The Brooklyn Park plan includes affordable units for the lowest on the income scale, like a family of 4 that earns just $27,000. Changes in zoning codes will be made next year to align with the new policy.
Hennepin County has an ambitious recycling goal. It wants zero waste sent to landfills by the year 2030. A new plan passed this week by the county focuses on diverting organics from the trash to help do that. And the county is offering an incentive to cities to provide organic waste pickup. But outside of Minneapolis, only a handful of suburbs have done that. Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Crystal, and New Hope have recently said they're not interested because the incentive isn't big enough and there is low interest among residents for the service.
If you visit Crystal City Hall or follow the city on social media, you might notice a logo change. This is the old city logo that's gradually being phased out in Crystal. Its replacement is this 14-point star that symbolizes a guiding beacon or a shining crystal ball. You may remember Crystal unveiled a new city flag this past spring, and the new logo mirrors the image on the flag. The city plans to slowly phase out the existing logo, and a new website will be launched in March. Still ahead, we head to Wayzata High School to meet this week's Standout Student.
Plus, Champlin Park-Coon Rapids battles Armstrong-Cooper in Northwest Suburban Conference girls hockey.
But first, plenty of sun and high near 50 on Thursday. We'll be right back. Opening up about having a mental illness isn't always an easy thing to do.
But in today's Standout Student, Delane Cleveland introduces us to a junior from Wayzata High School who is helping her peers cope with mental health issues.
So conductivity of solidity, conductivity in water.
To the untrained eye, an AP chemistry class might sound like a foreign language.
Do you guys remember that silver nitrate one?
But Wayzata junior Ruchika Kamujala feels right at home.
I am really interested in the sciences, particularly chemistry and social sciences like psychology, because then you can figure out if it's ionic or...
That interest in science goes well beyond the classroom setting.
Isn't ethanol?
It also happens to be a passion.
Or does it have an OH group?
Ruchika serves as the president of the student-run nonprofit Helping Every At-Risk Teen, or HEART.
And our goal is to break the negative stigma surrounding mental illness and just kind of to promote discussion about mental wellness.
To accomplish that goal, she's helped to organize a variety of events for students and community members.
Let's talk about mental health. It's real.
And she helped start a campaign called I'm Still Me, which uses videos to get the message across that having a mental illness makes you no different than anyone else. Staff members at Wayzata say her efforts have made an impact.
We have opened up the conversation about mental illness more than ever before. And I think because of that, we have kids seeking services all the time. Our social workers, our counselors, people are busy in this building.
For her efforts, Ruchika was recently awarded the Champion for Change Award by the Minnesota Association for Children's Mental Health.
I nominated Ruchika for that award because I see a young lady who knows what it is she wants. She's empathetic, passionate, persistent.
While it's nice to be recognized, Ruchika will be the first to admit that this issue extends beyond personal accolades.
Because this is life or death in some instances, and knowing that you could have saved their life or changed their life in a positive way, that's all that matters.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Still ahead, an old Broadway production brought back to life in the local theater scene.
But first, we'll see if a fast start can carry the Armstrong-Cooper boys hockey team to a win. John Jacobson has the highlights coming up next.
John Jacobson with sports. The Armstrong-Cooper boys hockey team won the Northwest Suburban Conference's West Division title last season. The Wings have a lot back from that team. They had their home opener in a non-conference game against Hopkins, and a great start for Armstrong-Cooper. Freshman Noah Wiesjohn comes off the wall, fires a shot home just 55 seconds into the game. A minute later, Wings captain Jack Gergen rips a shot in from in close, and it's a quick 2-0 lead. Later, a Gergen check frees the puck, and Jack Campion finds Riley Enderle, and it's 3-0 Armstrong-Cooper. And they still aren't done. In the first, Evan Axel's power play shot is stopped. Royals unable to clear it, and Axel sweeps it in for the goal. The Wings lead 4-0 going into the first intermission. Hopkins gets the best of it in the second period, and George Greeley's shot gets through traffic and in. And the Royals pull within 4-1. The Wings dominate the third period again, and Gergen nets his second of the night as Armstrong-Cooper wins 5-2. Gergen talked with CCX Sports' Jay Wilcox after the game.
It was big. We were coming off a loss against Providence, a game we thought we probably should have won, and it was sectioned, so we emphasized speed right off the gate, and we wanted to get a good first period in.
It's a tough stretch ahead for Armstrong-Cooper as they play Northwest Suburban crossover games against Blaine, Centennial, and Maple Grove over the next 8 days. Champlin Park and Coon Rapids are now paired for girls hockey. After an 0-2-1 start, the Rebels were skating for their second straight win as they faced Armstrong-Cooper in their second Northwest Suburban Conference game of the year. First period, CPCR in the dark blue. Alyssa Sweet's shot tipped in by Micah Sutherland. It's a power play goal. The Rebels lead 1-0 after one. Second period, Leah Herwald with the shot there. Number 26, Erica Tyson gets the goal. Freshman putting her team up 2-0. Still in the second period, Sweet carries the puck into the wing zone, snaps off a wrist shot, is in and makes it 3-0. Rebels goalie Bailey Shuck keeps the shutout going with a big stop in front of her net. And then the defense will sweep the puck out of the zone, and it's 4-0 Champlin Park Coon Rapids through 2. Another power play for the team in the third period, and Sweet nets her second goal of the game. Champlin Park Coon Rapids is now 2-2-1 with a 5-0 shutout of Armstrong-Cooper. The Hopkins St. Louis Park girls hockey team is piling up the wins so far this season. They played a high-scoring contest Tuesday. Royals against Royals as HP hosted Rogers, tied at 1 in the first. Kylie Hanley scores to give HP a 2-1 lead. Rogers answers. Allison Hatcher pops in the rebound, and it's 2-2 after one. Hopkins-Park takes the lead back 18 seconds into the second period. Aaron Brusso leads the rush, and her goal puts them back in front. Hanley gets control of the puck here near the top of the circle and scores for a 4-2 lead. It's 6-2 after two. Rogers comes back with 3 in the third period, but Hopkins-Park holds on for a 6-5 win. They'll play 2 games in Duluth this weekend. An Armstrong High School graduate received a postseason football honor from the Big Ten. Number 41, Thomas Barber, a sophomore at the University of Minnesota, was named third team All-Big Ten this week. The linebacker led the Gophers in tackles with 115. 76 of them were solo tackles, the most by a Gophers player since 2001. Thomas is the 4th member of his family to play football at the U, following his father, Marion Barber Jr., and his 2 older brothers, Marion III and Dominique. And congratulations to the Maple Grove girls basketball team for winning their season opener Tuesday, and the head coach Mark Cook for winning its 200th career game with the Crimson. Maple Grove beat Minnetonka 63-45. Freshman Jordan Lampker with 19 points in that game. Maple Grove will host Wayzata Thursday night in a game you can see live here on CCX. That's it for sports. We're back with more in a moment.
Well, finally, an original Broadway production that opened 40 years ago and ran for nearly 6 years.
Front Porch Musical Theater is bringing this hard knock life story back to life. Here's Neil Persley.
It's a hard knock life for us.
It's hard to believe that it's been 40 years since Annie first appeared on a Broadway stage, but the tale of the little red-haired orphan girl set in 1933 has remained a favorite.
At the time that Annie was brought to the stage, it was reminding people of those Depression years and how we all needed hope, and little orphan Annie was the one who brought hope.
Front Porch Musical Theater has divided up its 95 students into 2 weekend runs with 2 different casts. Bethany Nielsen plays one of the Annies.
I think it just talks about how family is such a big part of our world, and adoption is such a big part, and adoption can be so life-changing.
Celebrates adoption. Annie is adopted by Daddy Warbucks, finds her forever home, and there's so many people in our world alone that adoption is something that's so dear to their hearts. So we hope that all of those adoptive parents out there will bring their children and celebrate with us what it really feels like to find that forever home.
Finally, the acoustics and sound system at the new Performing Arts Center at Rogers High School are excellent. In Rogers, Neil Persley, CCX News.
And Annie opens at the Rogers High School Performing Arts Center this Friday, 7 o'clock. It runs through next Saturday and Sunday. That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again Thursday, starting at 4.